So Turkey Al Sheikh says that he wants to make David Benavidez versus the winner of Bivol Beterbiev, not versus Canelo Alvarez. This is an interesting development because initially he said he wanted the winner of Bivol Beterbiev to fight J.O. Petaya at cruiserweight, but now he's saying he wants them to fight David Benavidez. I think it's a more realistic match, to be honest, because Benavidez is at least the same size as Beterbiev and Bivol, despite the fact that he's coming up from 168 if he were to fight either of them. J.O. Petaya, I think, is just a step too far for certainly Bivol in my estimation, and probably Beterbiev as well, although Beterbiev fought plenty of big guys, just as big as Opetaya and bigger when he was in the amateurs. Beterbiev actually competed at heavyweight in the amateurs, not super heavyweight, heavyweight, which is the amateur equivalent of cruiserweight, there or thereabouts. Now, I'm kind of in two minds about this possibility because on one hand, it would be nice to see David Benavidez get rewarded for his patience, having to put up with Canelo Alvarez ducking him for all this time. But on the other hand, of course, I don't like to see fighters leapfrogging contenders who have actually earned their spot, earned their mandatory positions, for example. And that would be the case if David Benavidez was to fight the winner of Beterbiev Bivol. There are plenty of light heavyweights out there who have been waiting for their title shots, fighting eliminators and so on. Joshua Buatsi's one of them. Why should David Benavidez be able to just come into the light heavyweight division and leapfrog everybody? That's not right. However, if we put all the politics aside and what's right and wrong and just look at the actual fight, Benavidez versus Bivol or Beterbiev, yeah, I'd tune in. I'd find that interesting for sure. We often look at guys like Benavidez and say, oh, he's a weight bully. And I'm talking about boxing fans in general, right? Not me specifically. They often say, oh, he's a weight bully. And in saying that, they're kind of deriding his skill. If he gets in there with someone like an Artur Beterbiev, he's going to need to have some skill. He's going to need to show us something that he maybe hasn't shown us before. I don't think his physicality would be enough against someone like an Artur Beterbiev the way it has been at 168. And sometimes fighters do have abilities that are otherwise hidden. I mean, I remember when Danny Garcia fought Lucas Matisse. I'd never seen Danny Garcia fight on the back foot before. I thought he was going to be a sitting duck in the middle of the ring for Matisse, who was a tremendous puncher. Danny Garcia had shown slow feet, like he was anchored to the canvas in all the fights I've watched of his. But all of a sudden, out of the blue, I mean, maybe there were some people who saw some of Danny Garcia's fights, let's say earlier on in his career, where he also showed a back foot, but I never saw those fights if they did indeed exist. So for me, it was out of the blue. In the Matisse fight, Danny Garcia's got a back foot all of a sudden, moving around the ring very well, walking Matisse onto punches. It was a revelation for me. Does David Benavidez have something similar? Hidden skills and abilities that he hasn't had to show at 168. Because in order to beat certainly a Artur Beterbiev, I think he'd need to have such skills and such hidden abilities. Whereas against Bivol, I'd make Bivol the favorite over him, but I could see how Benavidez could still have success with that physicality. Walking Bivol down, trying to outwork him, etc. Because Bivol isn't really a monster puncher. I don't think he has the physical strength of Artur Beterbiev. So let me know what you guys think about all this in the comment section below. The possibility that we could have David Benavidez fighting the winner of Bivol versus Artur Beterbiev and not Canelo Alvarez. It's like a consolation prize for David Benavidez of sorts. And a consolation prize for the fans as well, because so many of us want to see David Benavidez get his shot at Canelo Alvarez. And in a roundabout way, you could almost see it as Turkey Al Sheikh penalizing Canelo Alvarez by offering Benavidez a fight out in Saudi and not him. Canelo was asking for what, 200 million, 150 million or something to fight Benavidez? Crazy money. So anyway, let me know what you guys think.